Hey, welcome to another episode of Moments with Mark. Just want to talk to you about a little situation that happened this week. I have a little over 3-year-old German short hair pointer. If you are familiar with German short hair pointers, they are high energy. She's very focused. I got my money's worth out of her because I'm a pheasant hunter and she is a hunter all the way around. And so yesterday she's out. We're kind of surrounded by woods, and she's out roaming the woods, and she found something to dig, some hole, probably some chipmunk hole or something like that, gopher hole, and she is digging. I finally get her to come home, and I get her in the house. She's hot. It's been warm around here lately. And she gets in the house, and I take her in. She drinks water out of the bathtub. She jumps in the bathtub. We turn the faucet on. I don't know how in the world that got trained to her. But anyway, how she got trained on that. But anyway, she didn't want to drink. She didn't want to eat. And she kept pawing at her mouth. And I'm like, oh, boy, she got into a toad. She has not learned that toads have this yucky stuff on them. If you get around them, they secrete that, and then it's like you don't want to eat them. So I thought, okay, she just got into a toad. It'll be a little while. So about a half hour, 45 minutes later, she's still pawing in her mouth at something. I thought, something is not right. So open up her yap, and I look at the roof of her mouth, and she has a stick about to the round as my little finger there, lodged between her teeth on the roof of her mouth. And so I had to reach in there and pry that baby off, and I, of course, then I lectured her a little bit, which, you ever tried lecturing to a dog? They don't listen to you, and it doesn't do you any good, but it makes you feel better in the process. About how you need to be more careful and not go do that because you're probably going to get into some trouble. Boy, how is that like us sometimes? Don't we go digging around in things that probably we shouldn't dig around in? And how many holes do we go digging around in that we shouldn't go digging around in? I was talking to a friend of mine. He was trying to break his terrier puppy from doing this. And the way you do that, I did not know this, I might have to do this, is you put some of the dog's excrement in the hole, and then they don't want to dig in there anymore. And we were talking about the idea of Deuteronomy when the Israelites are told, if you're going to go out and relieve yourself, take a shovel and bury it, because you don't want to be stepping in it, okay? Like you do if you go in my backyard and there's a bunch of chicken manure around all over the place, and my buddy Andy will not allow his chickens to have the run of his yard. They're suppressed and oppressed because they're in this little area. And he's sitting here listening to me right now because he doesn't want to get chicken manure between his toes when he's walking around the yard. So, but here's the thing: you don't want to. You're going to step in something if you're not careful. You go digging around holes you shouldn't around digging, or you're going to get something stuck. It's going to be painful. It's going to be discomforting because we do that too often. We get into things that we're not supposed to get into. The Israelites were always in trouble because they did not inquire of the Lord. I just talked about that. But because they also followed their own inclinations and went after things that they weren't supposed to be going after. It's like a dog that chases a car. What's that dog going to do with the car once he catches it? Nothing. He doesn't know what to do with it. How many times are we chasing after things that are either going to be harmful to us, that has some sort of imminent danger? I'm not just talking about, there's things we do. We take risks all the time. I get that. You get into your car these days, you take a risk. People texting and everything else, I get that. I'm talking about when we just blatantly choose to go and do things that, but I just enjoyed it. We chase sin all the time and we don't think about the consequences of it. And there are always consequences to our choices. So I'm going to let you sit with that today. Don't get any sticks caught in your mouth, and make sure you take a shovel with you if you go to the woods. So until next time, I'm Pastor Mark. Grace and peace.